Hey guys, Justin Robinson here, part 3 of the video series on drone use in high schools. This one is very tough, I'm going to be honest. One of the hardest ones that I've got to do. You can see what we're going through over the next few days and what we've been through already. And today we're going to talk about drones on school property. This one's tough, and I am going to go ahead and give you the warning. I am no lawyer. This is not legal advice. This is my opinion from what I know and what I've seen and what I've been through. We've got some resources here for you. I'm going to go through and actually show you some different things on the website. That's the best that I know to do, is go out and give you information based on what I've found. So AirMap is a great source for finding out where you can fly, where you can't fly. You'll notice if you go to the sites, they give you advisories around these schools. If I click on those, you can see that it gives me the name of the school, that there's a school there. These are just advisories. They're advisories from AirMap telling you to be careful flying around these schools. It is not illegal. For you to really understand this and know where I'm going, you really have to understand the rules and regulations. So the federal government controls airspace. The state and local law enforcement don't really have any jurisdiction over that. Very tricky because people don't know the rules and laws. But if I can take my drone from a place that I have a right to be legally and fly that drone, I can do so. I can't fly over people. I can't violate any of those rules. So it's very important that your SRO officer, people in the district, understand these rules and regulations. Okay. More information on that, you can go and find Know Before You Fly. Lots of great resources, show you places you can fly, things that you can do. With that, it comes into some very simple safety rules. You cannot fly a drone outside of your line of sight unless you have a waiver. That means that it would be very difficult for a person to fly a drone out over a school property and constantly be able to keep sight of that drone. They're probably going to be violating federal regulations. Also, you as a school have a right to decide how people are acting and who is on your property. So when people come onto your property and they're operating a drone on your property, that would come down to your local policies and procedures, maybe even state law. So you can go to these different places and find out what's there, how you can fly, where you can fly. As a matter of fact, AMA's got a great student club program for you to put your students in. I'm working with them, trying to communicate with them right now. I'm finding out how to tighten that bond between them and schools, because they're very good with insurance and different things. So lots of things here. Again, it tells you how you're going to fly. This one is going to go away, the 101 special rule. So it's going to change, but we've already established the fact in the day 2 video, especially if you're an educator, you need the 107 certification. Okay, your students don't necessarily have to have it, but you do. If you needed to see that, go back and look at that video if you've got questions about that part. But there's a lot of information here from AMA. Go and look. So drone use over school properties. Different states and local regions have laws that are set up to keep people privacy protected, different things that really hone in on drone law, but it's not honing in on the use of the drones, it's what you're doing with them. So in this case, North Carolina says that a small unmanned air system, you can't take pictures of someone's house or themselves without their permission. And you also cannot, it's illegal to launch and recover from either private or state property without consent. This is the one that I think that most school districts should try to imply in or set up in their district. You can't fly from our site without permission. It is private state property. So implementing rules like this would greatly help. You do have to be very careful. Here's some information on fact sheet on setting up laws and local regulations. You've got to be careful because you can't control the airspace. You can control your property and privacy. So those are things that you can implement. You need to do that. If not, it's going to be tough. And I can tell you now, a parent comes onto your property and they're flying a drone, they probably are not insured. They're probably not flying inside of the regulations. You need to make sure that you have policies and procedures to account for that. You also need to make sure that your SRO officer understands what they can and cannot do based on drone use on their property. Good videos out there. I've got some links on here to that as well, because you can't go and just make them stop flying. You have to know what to ask for and how to set this up. I do recommend as well that they go on, your SROs and even anybody that's working in your area around your school knows what the public safety guidelines are. There's some good, these come straight from the FAA, tell you what you can do, what you can't do. There's even a nice little pocket card that can go right in your pocket for a law enforcement officer. If you're going to look at the drone, they have it broken down: detect, report, observe, notice features, execute appropriate police action. These are things that you can ask for. The operator, who are they? How are they operating? What's the device? And make sure you get the registration number, where it was at, and you can go from there. So this is what you do as a law enforcement officer. There's also some more information on the FAA website. Even though you can't say you can't fly here at all unless you have the right documentation there, which this is up for some legal dispute, because I would consider a school a very big security risk, and your law enforcement officer or SRO or anybody does have the ability to go in and protect the students in that school if they feel there's a danger. I would say implementing policy and then hanging signs to make sure that there's not, people can't just operate around the school, especially from where, if they're on the private property of the school, you should definitely, they can't keep eyes on the drone and talk to you, for one thing. So getting the drone out of the sky, have a conversation, find out what they're doing there. But you need to do some research, and this is not for me. Again, I said we're not lawyers, but we know that there's a little bit of a lapse here in policies and procedures, and that's where you come in. Your risk management people need to know how you're going to handle these situations, how drones can be operated and can't be operated, who they need to contact, what they fill out. You can click on here and get a packet to get information on how to, signs that can be hung, whatever else. Make sure that you follow all of those rules. You also need to make sure that your SRO is aware of Part 107 rules and regulations. This is going to be important as well. So, lots of information. Again, I am really sorry that I'm not able to give you this is exactly what you should do and this is how you should operate. I can't do that. It's not my job. My goal here is to lead you to information so that you can find out how you can set up these policies and procedures, who can fly around your school, what you can do to protect your students, protect your staff, protect the people that are flying, and make sure that you know how to communicate this information. It's a tough one. This is an area that we help with consulting, but I think that you could reach out to your FAA administration as well, find out who the local FAA authorities are, talk to them, get involved with them helping you set up some policies and procedures for using this. What we don't want to happen is to shut down drones altogether, but we do want to stop people from acting illegally outside of regulations, and we also want to make sure that it's safe and a good environment for students. So again, a lot of information, more just pointing you to different places to get the information. Take a look at the resources that we have here on the site. If you've got any questions, again, reach out to us. Interested in getting someone trained so they know all these laws and regulations, know how to fly, know how the drones are being used, please reach out. Would love to talk to you about how we could help you with that or where else you could find help. So as always, thanks for watching the video. Look forward to the next video tomorrow, which will be on liability. Drones, FAA, liability, how you make sure you're covered, and other people are covered that are doing work for you. So go out and fly safe. See you tomorrow.